Hello everyone, I'm Tanaka, the CEO of Turing. Today I'd like to give a brief introduction to Turing, our company, and what we do. First of all, we are a company called Turing. As of the end of August 2024, we have just under 50 employees and have raised a total of 6 billion yen in funding. Our headquarters are located in Osaki Shinagawa Ward. The founder of Turing is a man named Issei Yamamoto. Before founding Turing, he developed an AI for shogi called Ponanza. This Ponanza was the first shogi AI to defeat a human Meijin, a grandmaster. Issei Yamamoto also served as a lead engineer at Hiraz, where he contributed to the company's public listing, leveraging his expertise from the success of Ponanza. In other words, CEO Yamamoto is one of the most recognized AI engineers in Japan, with a track record that no one would dispute. It was this very AI-savvy Yamamoto who founded Turing. Our mission is to achieve full autonomous driving. The full autonomous driving that we aim for is targeting level 5, the highest level among the various levels of autonomous driving. So, what exactly is level 5 autonomous driving? You can think of it as something straight out of a science fiction world. Whether you're drinking alcohol, there's no steering wheel, or even if you're asleep, it will take you to your destination. It's a level where the system can substitute all human actions in any situation, and this is the full autonomous driving we are striving to achieve. To realize this level 5 autonomous driving, we need to achieve significant technological breakthroughs. Before we go into details, let me briefly explain how traditional autonomous driving players are approaching this technology. For example, you may have seen autonomous taxis from a company called Waymo, which is under Google, operating on the streets of San Francisco. The traditional autonomous driving approach, as represented by companies like Waymo, often involves a spinning sensor called LiDAR mounted on the roof. These high-functioning sensors, like LiDAR, are combined with HD maps that capture city information in 3D with centimeter-level precision. With numerous sensors and these detailed maps, the vehicle accurately understands its location and movements within the 3D space, and it follows predefined rules to drive. In this approach, engineers write algorithms that control the vehicle with commands like stop here in this situation or move there under these conditions. This is the traditional rule-based approach to autonomous driving. By building the system thoroughly, such as meticulously mapping specific areas and defining various scenarios, it's possible to achieve quite sophisticated autonomous driving. However, this method poses significant challenges when it comes to achieving the kind of level 5 autonomous driving that Turing aims for, where the system can surpass human driving in any situation. The reason is that when driving, many long-tail situations occur, rare, diverse, and challenging scenarios. For instance, look at the slide with the scene in the middle, where a traffic control officer is standing in front of a traffic light. A human driver might think, should I stop in front of this traffic officer? Or should I follow this person instead of the distant traffic light? However, defining such nuanced scenarios with rules is extremely difficult. Additionally, as depicted on the right side of this slide, what if the traffic officer is wearing a suit? This change would add even more complexity and tension. Numerous situations like this, requiring an understanding of human context and social behavior, arise on the road, making it impossible to define everything with rules. This is why we insist that a technological breakthrough is necessary. So how do we plan to overcome these challenges? Our approach is end-to-end autonomous driving. Before explaining this end-to-end approach, let me share the significant vision and hypothesis CEO Yamamoto has regarding AI. Take a look at the red and white chart on the left side of the slide. In any field, systems and models initially start as rule-based, gradually evolving over time. However, at a certain point, when all resources are dedicated to AI, the AI-based method surpasses the rule-based one. Once the red AI model surpasses the white rule-based model, the rule-based approach can never catch up to the AI model again. This is the hypothesis and vision he holds. And it is not just a hypothesis for autonomous driving. The same thing happened when CEO Yamamoto developed the shogi AI, Ponanza. In the early days of developing Ponanza, traditional shogi programmers wrote programs using a rule-based approach, such as placing a gold general next to the king increases the score by this many points, and so on, fine-tuning every detail. However, Ponanza didn't rely on humans to write these rules. Instead, it left everything up to AI. By letting AIs compete against each other and refining the stronger ones, they eventually surpassed all traditional shogi programmers and even defeated the human Meijin, who was regarded as a god in the shogi world at the time. He achieved this breakthrough in shogi and board games, and when CEO Yamamoto looked at the autonomous driving industry, he saw the exact same pattern. Many players use sensors and maps to control vehicles with a rule-based approach. But just like in shogi and board games, if we let AI take over everything, we could witness a breakthrough similar to what happened in those fields. This is the fundamental hypothesis of Turing. As I mentioned earlier, almost all the autonomous vehicles currently on the road operate using a rule-based approach that relies heavily on sensors and maps to gather information and control the vehicle. Recognizing the limitations of this rule-based method, we founded Turing in August 2021 with the conviction that an end-to-end approach where everything is entrusted to AI is essential. And indeed, there has been a significant shift towards this end-to-end approach globally. At Turing, we are, of course, taking this approach. The most well-known company betting on this method is Tesla. Elon Musk understands the limitations of rule-based systems, so they operate their vehicles entirely using an end-to-end approach. They have already started integrating their full self-driving FSD model into commercial vehicles. Additionally, a company called Wave in London is also developing autonomous driving using an end-to-end approach and is becoming quite prominent among global startups. We at Turing have been steadily working on moving vehicles with this end-to-end approach. While Turing was founded in August 2021, by January 2022, just 4 or 5 months later, we had developed a model that could navigate around a private parking lot repeatedly. It uses a single front-facing camera, and the neural network controls the vehicle based on the camera images it receives. Following this, in January 2023, we sold a single vehicle to a user. This vehicle processes images from 2 front-facing cameras using a small onboard neural network and drives on public roads in Japan. By early 2023, we had already achieved a driver assistance system that was on par with or superior to existing features, such as following the car in front or recognizing lane markings, and we sold this system to a user. While this system performs similar functions to commercially available driver assistance systems, the method we use is completely different. It controls the vehicle using cameras and neural networks, in other words, an end-to-end approach. Throughout 2022 and 2023, we have been operating vehicles according to our hypothesis. Currently, we are working on developing a system that can drive on Tokyo's roads for over 30 minutes without human intervention, using 8 cameras providing a 360-degree view. We are collecting data and developing models to achieve this goal by the end of 2025. Earlier, I mentioned the shift in the autonomous driving industry from rule-based approaches to end-to-end approaches. We founded Turing with the firm belief that level 5 full autonomous driving would be impossible with the limitations of rule-based methods and that an end-to-end approach was the only way forward. However, at that time, many people reacted with a "well, that's unlikely" response, doubting our stance. In March 2024, however, Tesla released version 12 of its full self-driving FSD system as an optional driver assistance package in the United States. This FSD 12 made a huge impact on the automotive industry and users around the world. Until FSD version 11, Tesla's system was essentially rule-based. Engineers wrote extensive code to define behaviors like stopping at stoplights or avoiding parked cars. But with FSD 12, they have implemented end-to-end autonomous driving in real vehicles. This is exactly the approach we at Turing have been advocating, and it has shocked the entire automotive industry. Up until then, nearly all players thought that while it might be theoretically possible, implementing it in practice would be extremely difficult. However, seeing Tesla's vehicles in action made many in the industry reconsider. They began to think, isn't Tesla actually doing pretty well? Or could Tesla's end-to-end model be much better than rule-based systems? This realization has prompted significant movement within the automotive industry. For instance, in China, many companies that had been using rule-based approaches now claim, "We've been considering end-to-end for the past 10 years." Governments and startups are collaborating, pooling vast human, material, and financial resources, and are making a major shift toward end-to-end autonomous driving. Similarly, in Europe, a company called Wave has been advancing research and development on the end-to-end approach for a few years. In May 2024, they raised over 150 billion yen to accelerate their development using this approach. So, companies in Europe like Wave, various players in China, and Tesla in the United States are driving major innovations in this field. Under these circumstances, traditional autonomous driving players and automakers are beginning to think, maybe we need to explore a completely new approach instead of the methods we've been using so far. It's indeed a fascinating time in the industry. In this context, we at Turing are executing a project called Tokyo 30, with a target completion date of the end of December 2025. Tokyo 30 is a project to develop an end-to-end autonomous driving model capable of navigating the complex traffic conditions of central Tokyo for over 30 minutes without human intervention. What are we doing to achieve Tokyo 30? We are building a robust MLOps platform. It's not just about developing end-to-end models. In the field of autonomous driving, there's much more to it. The key is what kind of data we collect, how frequently, under what circumstances, and in what quantity. It's also crucial to determine which scenarios are used for training. We are constantly exploring and refining these elements. This exploration means we need to rapidly iterate through trial and error, experimenting with how we collect data, how we train the models, and how we refine the training processes. We operate a daily PDCA, continually working to create better models. By building this MLOps platform, we are establishing a process to deploy the models created there into our vehicles. As I mentioned earlier, for Tokyo 30, we are using 8 cameras mounted around the vehicle to monitor the surroundings in a full 360-degree view. The images captured are fed into neural networks, which then control the vehicle, all in one seamless process. In addition to developing the end-to-end approach for Tokyo 30, we at Turing are simultaneously working on generative AI specifically for autonomous driving. Now, let me explain why generative AI is becoming essential for autonomous driving. Earlier, I mentioned that driving involves long-tail situations, which are infrequent but complex scenarios. We also looked at the example of a traffic officer ambiguously waving a baton. The question is, why are we humans able to handle such situations and drive safely? It's because we have acquired a vast amount of common sense. Many of you who have driven before or have a driver's license have probably gone through the process of attending driving school, practicing driving, and obtaining a provisional license. However, the most challenging process for us humans to become capable drivers is actually living as a human being up to the age of 18. After living as a human until the age of 18, understanding societal norms and contexts, and grasping the background of human society, we are finally told, you are now eligible to get a driver's license. In other words, we don't drive tens of thousands of kilometers at driving school, nor do we memorize countless books. We do a bit of classroom study, drive a little, get accustomed to public roads with a provisional license, and eventually obtain a driver's license. To achieve driving capabilities beyond human levels, an autonomous driving system needs to deeply understand the world's common sense, human societal context, and background information just like humans do. For this, generative AI for autonomous driving becomes necessary. That's our approach. So, how do we use generative AI to acquire this common sense? There are two main areas: the VLM, Vision Language Model, domain, and the World Model. Let me briefly explain each. First, let's revisit the earlier example where a traffic officer is ambiguously holding a baton in front of a traffic light. When humans encounter such a scene, they often think, I should probably stop in front of this person. We ask our vision language model called Heron, developed at Turing, if you were driving and encountered this scene, what should you do? As shown in the slide, it might respond with something like, you need to be cautious of this person, or you can proceed if you receive a signal from this person. This means that the LLM-VLM has acquired common sense, and by understanding the context of human society from various data sources, is extracting and utilizing common sense from this image. We are advancing the development of this VLM approach, as we believe it will be necessary for driving. At the same time, we are adopting an approach using the world model, and we are developing a video generative AI called Terra. Now let me explain this world model, Terra. The video you see moving on the slide is not an actual video captured from a car. It's a model where only a short frame of video is provided at the start, and the generative AI predicts and generates the subsequent frames. Why is this approach necessary? It's because when we humans drive, we constantly predict, what will happen if I do this now? Or what will happen if I continue to drive straight? In other words, to achieve autonomous driving that surpasses human capabilities, such a world model needs to be realized. It's necessary for an autonomous driving AI that exceeds human capabilities to inherently include these kinds of functions. Based on this perspective, we are developing the world model and video generative AI. Let me share another interesting example. On the right side of the slide, we are asking the generative model questions like, what will happen if I go straight? Or what will happen if I turn right? Humans, when driving, also predict things like, if I continue straight, I can go without hitting anything, or if I suddenly turn the steering wheel to the right, I'll crash into that car. This is exactly what the generative AI is realizing in the example on the right. In other words, Terra is capable of creating an infinite number of scenarios based on various conditions to predict what will happen next with the vehicle. By further enhancing this capability, we aim to develop the ultimate autonomous driving system that has acquired common sense beyond human levels. This is the approach we at Turing are pursuing. Moreover, for the development of such generative AI and end-to-end models, securing an immense amount of computational resources and GPU capacity is crucial. Since February 2024, we have been selected for the GENIAC project, which is a government initiative by NEDO and the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry to support domestic businesses developing promising generative AI technologies. In addition to this, we are also operating our own GPU cluster called Gaggle Cluster, equipped with 96 NVIDIA H100 GPUs. This means we have secured the necessary computational resources for developing generative AI and end-to-end models, both from our own infrastructure and government support. So far, I have explained how we plan to achieve full autonomous driving through our technical approach and methodologies. Now, I'd like to discuss how we intend to translate these technologies into actual business opportunities. We plan to provide the models developed through the Tokyo 30 project, as well as the MLOps platform and frameworks created during this process to various automakers. This will enable automakers to integrate these models and frameworks into mass-produced vehicles as advanced driver assistance systems. Based on this hypothesis and approach, we are currently engaged in concrete discussions with several automakers. In other words, we are actively working behind the scenes to implement our models into vehicles that will eventually be sold by various automakers. From here, I would like to talk about our technological hypotheses, our approach to business expansion, our future growth, and why we believe we can succeed. As I mentioned earlier, the autonomous driving industry is undergoing a significant shift from rule-based systems to end-to-end approaches. At a time when the technical approach and direction are undergoing such a fundamental transformation, strong leadership in AI development is crucial to concentrate resources on this effort. As I've emphasized before, Turing's founder, CEO Yamamoto, is the person who has defeated a human grandmaster with his shogi AI, Ponanza, which is a remarkable track record. There are very few AI engineers in Japan with such an impressive track record in large-scale learning. Turing's strength lies in CEO Yamamoto himself setting the major direction for AI development. This is because AI development requires even more concentrated resources and bold decision-making compared to general software development, as it leads to exponential growth. This demands strong conviction and courage. CEO Yamamoto, with his proven record in the AI field and his firm beliefs, can provide powerful leadership in AI development, creating a unique advantage for Turing that no other automaker or startup has. Comparing rule-based systems to AI-based systems, rule-based approaches are often easier to implement initially, which is why many field engineers tend to prefer them. However, the ability to firmly declare, no matter how challenging it may be at first, we will bet everything on AI, is a significant trait of both Turing and CEO Yamamoto. Additionally, starting this company in Japan holds great significance. As I mentioned earlier, we are already in discussions with several automakers, and Japan is a major player in the global automotive industry. The world's largest automaker, Toyota, sells over 10 million new vehicles annually worldwide, and is a truly outstanding company. It's not just Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Suzuki, Mazda, Subaru. Japan has many strong automakers, and the automotive industry is a major source of foreign exchange, representing a very powerful sector of the Japanese economy. Now, this strong manufacturing industry is being caught up in a huge wave of software and AI transformation. I believe it's a very exciting challenge for a company like ours, with a strong focus on AI, to partner with this powerful Japanese automotive industry and make an impact on the global stage. Moreover, in discussions with various automakers, we often hear, "We're thrilled to see a company with such a strong focus on AI emerging from Japan, and we'd love to collaborate." We believe starting in Japan has tremendous meaning. Timing is also crucial. As I mentioned earlier, there is a massive wave toward end-to-end. In the US, Tesla, in Europe, Wave, and in China, numerous companies are concentrating significant human and financial resources into this approach. This reflects the geopolitical landscape of the automotive industry. The dominant regions in the automotive industry are the US, Europe, and China. Japan's automotive industry is also among the strongest in the world, ranking alongside these regions. In this context, it's essential that we establish a solid presence in the field of AI and end-to-end approaches from Japan. I believe that this significant geopolitical shift in the automotive industry will support Turing's position and technological hypothesis as well. To summarize, we have strong AI leadership in the form of Issei Yamamoto. Japan has a robust automotive manufacturing industry that has already established itself as a leader. By effectively merging these strengths and with the current geopolitical trends in the automotive industry, we believe Turing is in a very compelling position. Now, I would like to introduce the organizational structure and development framework at Turing, detailing how we manage the company and advance our projects. Our development team is broadly divided into three main groups: the E2E team, the edge computer team, and the generative AI team. The E2E team is responsible for the approach that aims to realize the Tokyo 30 project mentioned earlier. The generative AI team focuses on developing the vision language model and the world model, which were also discussed earlier. The edge computer team works on how to deploy and operate the models developed by the E2E and generative AI teams in the vehicles. Essentially, how to integrate the models into cars and ensure they function properly. As of the end of August 2024, we have approximately 40 members across these teams. In terms of the team composition, we have many employees who are raising children, with nearly half of them being in the parenting age group. The majority of the team members are in their 20s and 30s, making it a relatively young team, but recently we have been seeing an increase in mid-career and senior engineers as well. Our management team, led by CEO Yamamoto, includes co-founder Shunsuke Aoki, who earned a PhD in autonomous driving from Carnegie Mellon University, CTO Yamaguchi, COO Tanaka, CFO Morishima, and CBO Tokuchi. Each of them brings a diverse and unique background to the management team. Not only our management team, but also our employees have unique and varied backgrounds. On this slide, you can see logos of their previous employers, which include companies not only in the autonomous driving and automotive industries, but also across a wide range of fields within the IT industry and beyond. Even if you think the field of autonomous driving may not be very familiar, you'll see that people from various backgrounds are thriving here. So please take a look at the different backgrounds of our team members. Next, I'd like to talk about our working style. We are not fully remote. We primarily work from the office but adopt a hybrid work model that allows for remote work from home when necessary. As I mentioned earlier, many of our team members are in the parenting age group, and I myself work at this company while raising 3 children, so we have a deep understanding of family circumstances and the needs of children. As I mentioned, we have about 40 employees, and 80% of them are engineers. We are particularly focused on creating an environment where engineers can work comfortably. Since our founder, CEO Yamamoto, is an AI engineer himself, we have developed an environment that is very conducive for AI and software engineers. Furthermore, because our team members come from diverse fields, we actively implement various initiatives to facilitate communication among everyone. I'd also like to share what makes working as an engineer at this company so interesting. The most straightforward answer is that we are tackling the grand challenge of full autonomous driving for humanity. As I mentioned earlier, we have strong competitors globally, but we are aiming for a significant goal by collaborating with various strong Japanese companies amid a major paradigm shift in technology. There are very few companies like ours. Developing these models requires a vast amount of computational resources. We provide these resources through a combination of government support and our own GPU cluster, creating a highly conducive environment for AI software engineers to work efficiently. The availability of ample computational resources is another significant benefit for engineers. Moreover, our engineers at Turing are highly skilled, even within the fields of AI and software. Working alongside such talented individuals makes for a stimulating environment for engineers. Additionally, we are developing cutting-edge technology in generative AI and autonomous driving, and we actively participate in global conferences, presenting papers and giving talks. This offers an engaging and rewarding environment for engineers as well. So far, I have introduced Turing as a company. Now, I would like to discuss the positions we are currently hiring for. We are undertaking the grand challenge of achieving full autonomous driving for humanity, and we are still in need of talent for all positions. As you can see, we are actively recruiting for all roles, so please take a look at the specific positions and feel free to contact us. Our selection process is quite flexible. For those who want to learn more about the company or have more questions, we can arrange casual interviews. We tailor the selection process according to individual backgrounds and situations. We also offer trial employment for candidates who are interested, allowing them to experience working here and get to know the team and work environment. Please feel free to reach out to us regarding these opportunities. Additionally, as we are a very early stage startup, we are currently preparing stock options as well. If Turing succeeds and reaches an IPO or a similar milestone, you can expect to share in the significant rewards that come with stock options. In summary, we are actively recruiting for all positions. Whether you are interested in a specific role or unsure where you might fit in, we welcome casual inquiries. We look forward to hearing from you.